Hello, my friend. I'm so glad that you are joining me for this Operation Greatness podcast because we are going to answer a really interesting question and we're going to go deep into it. The question is, if you had a button you could push that would turn off the simulation, would you press that button? So our exploration of this is going to reveal to you your core beliefs, how attached you are to your body, to your life, which I think of as a shirt that you're wearing right now, and you, at the end of your life, you just take off that shirt, and then there's no limitations, no holding back, no more playing small in any way, and I so recommend you live your life that way, where you are never holding back, playing small, limiting the unlimited, of which you are its expression in the world. I call the infinite unlimited, I call that God. Some people just call it consciousness, or all that is, or the universe, or you could call it presence. Being aware of that as that something more, well, that's how we are here to live our life, as like you are like the hollow flute. If you picture a flute, it makes no sounds on its own other than maybe a banging sound like a percussion if it's hitting something. And yet when God is blowing the Holy Spirit, you might say, or is playing that instrument, there is beautiful music. That's what you are in the world. You are that hollow flute. You are God's instrument for miracles. You are how God is blessing the human family, our whole human race. You are God's gift to the world. It is through you living your purpose, fulfilling your destiny, honoring your duty, which is always being of greater service to more people. I call that extending love, and deeper than that, I call it extending God, because your work is opening you, the gift you are, removing all limiting thoughts, old habits, old programming that says I am unworthy, I am unlovable, I am not enough. Removing all of that stuff, which, what does that do? That blocks the flute. You, as being God's instrument for miracles in the world, if you have all of that stuff, I mean, it's kind of like you are the sun, and you are here to shine your light, except when you had, in the past, believed someone shaming you or being negative toward you or saying, that'll never work, because that person accepted the limitations on the unlimited from other people, training that person to play small and to live less fully and gloriously and magnificently, because that person doing the shaming and the negative programming had accepted someone else who had done that. No, this is the time where we're dismantling that completely. All of us are removing our negative, false programming, and we're stepping up and we're shining our light as brightly as the sun. No clouds, no dark fog of ignorance. No, all of that is behind us. That's no more. You are so much more than that. And wow, see how this is even going in a different direction. I hadn't imagined any of this until I opened up that vessel, that instrument, for the presence of God to communicate directly with you, right here, now. And you're getting that message and you're seeing, I mean, how do you respond to this yourself right now, right here? I mean, pause and reflect on this and share your thoughts about this on your social media and in each of these posts you're making. Link back to this show, because this is how you're inviting every one of us to no longer hold back, live in fear, stifle, limit, oppress, turn off, block God from being the light in the world. I mean, it's like, no, I don't deserve that. Well, what would that be doing? That's like blocking God, like putting up a shield separating you from that which is the infinite and unlimited. Omnipresence means what? Present everywhere. There is nowhere God is not, especially within you. That's how you are living your life as you are destined to enjoy it. Every aspect, every moment. Never limiting the unlimited, because how is that even possible to comprehend? How, like, who are you to think it's okay to block God from blessing the world through the gift you are? How is that ever even possible to conceive? And who are you to think, like, I'm so arrogant that I think I can stop God from serving people, from blessing them, from transforming their lives, from helping them see how much they matter? Can you even fathom that selfishness? To think that you are able to prevent God from transforming the lives of, for example, all of your online friends by now leading them, actively getting them involved in watching this conversation, listening to this podcast. I'm doing this as a video recording because our Operation Greatness chapter leaders are encouraged to do this podcast. This is our chapter meeting as our watch party, and we're, like you, leading your own Operation Greatness chapter, leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating all your online friends as well as everyone in your local area or region into transforming their lives into being that light as God's gift to the world themselves among all of their friends. And so I relate to this more as watching this chapter meeting, and you're getting your own chapter. You're leading your own chapter through operationgreatness.com/elevation, and then you're doing this video instead of this audio. And if you're listening to this audio, then really hear this message the same way. It's like, wow, he's right. I was limiting God. I was limiting the unlimited. I was blocking God from blessing so many people because I had bought into a lie that says that I am limited in any way. Watch or hear my earlier podcast called Becoming Unlimited, and you'll know more about that, and that'll really hit that point home further. That's again through operationgreatness.com/elevation, where you're getting the videos to all of our chapter meetings, and while we're doing one a day. And so right now, right here, actively lead all of your online friends into doing this chapter meeting with us themselves, so you're sharing your thoughts about, wow, I was playing small. I felt like I did not matter because I didn't believe in myself, fully at least, and I was holding back. I was playing small because I was caring about Like, what if somebody criticized me? What if they get upset because what if, blah, 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 story, negative programming, because you are enough, because you are the hollow flute, and God is playing you to create beautiful music, which is transforming the world. And you have that power because you are unlimited. And right now, I mean, you can reach how many people do you have as friends or connections on social media? I mean, like I have 183,900 and some people following me on Twitter this morning. So let's say 184,000 people and like 5,100 and some on Facebook and whatever, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, all those total, who knows how many. I have the power to reach those people and to transform their lives, just as you do with your online friends. And I mean, so maybe like 100 people on Twitter, okay? So if I reach them and then they reach 100 people, and that's, 100 to 10,000 people, and then they reach their 100 people, and, that's, then what is that, 1 million people? And then, then they reach their 100 people, and that's 100 million, and then they reach their 100, and that's, that's like what, that would be 10 billion people. So we're all connected, so this is how we are all leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating everyone we can. This is how we are opening up to that so much more. So do that. Actively lead all of your online friends into this Operation Greatness chapter, this show, this podcast, this chapter meeting, and you're transforming their lives. Do this yourself and share with them what insights you are having, which is helping you open so much more to God, to being God's instrument in the world. Because you're here for that. That's why you are here. So going back to this original question, okay, so let's talk about the context. The question again is, if you had a button you could push that would end the simulation, would you push that button? So how do you respond to that right now before we go deeper into that question? What would happen after you push that button? The world would end, right? Would that mean that we are all returning to God? That we are all ending our suffering? Because, like the Buddha said, that the world is suffering because of desires. When you have a desire, that means you're not happy with what you have and what is, and that desire means you want something more, so you're suffering without that desire fulfilled. I mean, this is a little simplified, but maybe not really. And so the nature of the world is suffering. And some people think that hell is not like somewhere under the ground or in, the ether somewhere, that it's what we are living right now, and after we die, after we shed these limitations on the unlimited, which is what your body is, if you think about it in one sense, then there is no more pain. That's what some people think, and that this is hell, actually. And other people think it's so glorious and wondrous and miraculous and joyful, and every moment is a gift, and that's why they call it the present. I mean, that's a whole spectrum of people believing in how they see the world, which means that's determining how they experience life, right? Is this moment, I'll ask you this question, are you experiencing and seeing and holding this moment as a gift, as the gift of eternal, infinite value that it truly is? So answer that question. And if you were not experiencing this moment as the eternal, infinite gift it is, then you missed this moment. You were not present for it, and that's like squandering that gift of this life that you have. And that is there any other limitation on the unlimited? Is there any other? That seems to me to be the ultimate slap in the face of God, of not experiencing the gift this moment is as the gift, as the ultimate gift from God. I seriously ask that you really hear that message and answer that question for yourself to make sure that you are living fully this moment, here, now, because that is where God is. And is there anything more important than this moment? Because there has never existed anything but this moment. And if you were in your head, if you were worried about the future or having fear from the past or doubt or worry or story, if you were not here, then you missed this moment. And that's like the ultimate affront to God. That's like the ultimate rejection of God. Not living this moment. And there's no words like living fully this moment, because living is living fully, right? So how much are you here now? And when you're just breathing, you're breathing in God. And it is beyond words. Glorious, fantastic, miraculous. And you have that, you're feeling that presence. I was going to say have that presence. It's who you are. You are God's instrument for miracles. Every moment you are here to experience God fully. Like I say, your work is opening fully to God as God's gift to the world, God's instrument for miracles. That's your work, opening 100% to God, blessing the world through you as God's expression in the world. I mean, there's no hand that reaches down and gives gold to people. No, it's through the gold that you share, freely giving the gift you are. That's where you are, or God is giving gold to people, because you have so much within you to share, so much love to give. You are such a, well, we're back to this word, infinitely valuable treasure. You are God's treasure to the world, and for you to give your treasures fully, not holding back, not playing small, not letting fear keep you down, never again, any moment, living less than 100%, because that's blocking God to any extent that you were blocking God less than 100%. How is any percentage of you blocking God okay? It's not. It never has been, and now it never will be again, by you really hearing this and by you opening and receiving God 100% yourself. And Jesus is the example we can all recognize and relate to as what that is, 100% open to God, extending into the world through our lives. And is there any other reason for you being here than to extend God, to extend love, to be of greater service to more people? And that is the source of happiness, joy, fulfillment, well-being, peace of mind, success, prosperity, meaning, impact, contribution. The amount of the impact you are having, the level of the value of the gift you are, determines your happiness, joy, fulfillment, well-being, peace of mind, success, prosperity, meaning, impact, contribution. How great every moment is related to how much you have extended God or shared your gifts with the world, not holding back or playing small. And this is why you are here. This is your purpose. This is your life's mission, your work, to give freely everywhere you are the gift you are. Is there any question about that? And so the simulation, if you had this button you could push and the world would end, the simulation would dissolve, would you push that button? If you push that button, would that be quitting? Would that be like walking away from your responsibility as God's gift to the world? You're here to give your gifts, and if you quit, would that be what pushing the button and ending it all would do? Would you then have to do it all over again? I'm inviting you to really see these questions here and answer for yourself what truly matters. And ultimately, I want you to see, wow, Dan is so right. Because I am here in the world, I am here to make as much of a difference as I can to others, to help them. I mean, like, okay, I love this quote, and I don't know the original source from it. I heard it from, I believe it was my pastor. His name is Michael Meerdad, and he's an excellent spiritual teacher. I think it was him who says this, but he always says, use my words, but make them your own, and don't give him credit for them. Just say those words because you're owning them yourself. So I was a newspaper reporter for 6 years, an assistant managing editor for 4 years. So in newspapers, we credit our source because it's like a respect and an honoring, and yet that's, okay. I understand the point that Michael is saying, own it yourself and then say it, make it yours. And so, but anyway, the point is we are all here leading each other home. So if you're saying, I want to end it all, I mean, that's like what suicide is. That's the way of the coward. That's like the most selfish thing that anyone could ever do, is to end their own lives, right? I mean, I hope that's it's beyond obvious to every one of us that that's like the most selfish thing and the weakest thing that a person could ever do, because that's just the coward's way. That's like, I mean, it's beyond, I don't understand how anybody could even consider that, because their pain is so great. I realize that, but their pain is just the story that they made up, and that's all misguided. It's 100% false, because that's blocking God completely. So maybe we should do a whole show on suicide, because that would be really profound. I mean, I guess we're kind of doing that here, because if you push that button and end the simulation and end your life and the world, that would be like calling it quits. That would be like blocking God and saying, no, I'm not going to serve others. I'm asking you to think about this yourself, because would that be the effect? And yes, you could think like, well, that means I'm going home. And yet, would that mean that because you are here for a very important purpose, you have that inner knowing there is so much more for me, that I have so much more to give, that people need the gift in my life, that I am here to be for them, and there is great pain and suffering here. So if I ended the simulation, so then look at that question. Would I be ending the suffering in the world? Or would I also, and more importantly, be ending the lessons that all these good people alive right now, such as you and everyone connected with you, would I be blocking them from learning their lesson? It's kind of like life is a game, and we're here to do our work, learn our lessons, learn our stuff, develop our gifts. Otherwise, we have to play it over again. And, like that person on his or her deathbed, there's a beautiful poem that I want you to hear. It's called So Live Your Life by Chief Tecumseh. And if you type it in on the phone, Chief Tecumseh, So Live Your Life, or if you speak it in there, you'll get that poem. And it's like the message is, so live your life so that when your time comes, you're not like so many people on their deathbed who would give anything, like all of their riches materially, for another hour or another day or another 5 minutes with their loved ones to tell them what they needed to say, or because they live mostly in regret, I didn't achieve everything this life was meant to be for me. Really hear this message, because this is your end of life opportunity. If you could push that button, would you do it? Well, did you complete your life's work now? And has everyone else on the planet completed their life's work? Or would you, by pushing that button, artificially end their lives? And would that be the kill button for every one of us? And you would be just blowing up the world? I mean, that's a really huge question for each of us to really come to peace with. So, like right now, pause here and say, wow, I'm watching this video as part of our daily chapter meetings with my own Operation Greatness chapter through operationgreatness.com/chapter. And this guy, who is the operationgreatness.com founder, is asking me something really profound. It's blowing my mind in a figurative sense, not literally, because the questions that he's asking are, if I had a button that would end the simulation and that would essentially blow up the world, would I push that button? Would I be responsible for ending all life on the planet? Would I be killing the 8 billion people and all the animals and all the trees and all the fish that's really profound to think about it, and yet the way he talks about it, it gets back to what is my life purpose, and then you share your thoughts about that, because honestly I had, and then you talk about maybe that you did try to kill yourself, or you had thoughts about that, and yet if I had done that, that would have been the most selfish act of a coward, because I was that wounded, because I was so misguided and lost sight of what truly matters, which is extending love, extending God, being of greater service, because we all have so much within us to share, so much love to give, and you just share your open, honest feelings about that. Maybe you record your own video and then you link to operationgreatness.com/elevation. Actually, /leader would be a better link. operationgreatness.com/leader, because you are the inspired visionary leader the world needs, and that's something more that you've always known is there for you. So, would you push that button? I mean, you can look at it like two sides. Like, I got a visual of like the guy in Iran or Hamas or whatever, these extreme fanaticals, they have bombs on their chest and they want to cause as much death and destruction and fear as they can. That's like somebody blowing up his own world. Or it could be even a kid doing this now who doesn't understand, and yet they just want the love of, their father or whatever, make their father proud of them. That's a reflection of how misguided our world was by each of us to some degree, living from fear, blocking God in our lives, right? But that person who would blow up, a square and kill 50 or 100 people or hundreds of people, or a mosque or a temple, that's like somebody, that's kind of like a microcosm view of this question. If you had this button, would you push it and blow up the whole world? And that person might honestly believe that what he is doing is just, I don't think that they know that they're committing an act of violence and destruction. And even the Quran says, when you kill one person, you are killing yourself 1,000 times. So that's not even in alignment with their religion and their Bible and their prophet. So I don't think that even that person would actually believe that what I am doing by killing hundreds of people is helping those hundreds of people. Notice there's that issue or question of free will. These people have the right to decide whether they live or die. Or is that true? You see how many interesting questions there are as we are learning ourselves and seeing where we were blocking ourselves, which really means limiting God, blocking God from blessing our lives, saying no to the infinite and unlimited, of which we are its expression, its extension in the world, its gift to the world. God is blessing you with so much as you are blessed to be able to bless the world by sharing God with the world, by extending God into the world. I don't mean preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, although that might be how you are sharing your gifts. I mean the gift you are to the world, like by leading all of your online friends, making sure that they are going through this Operation Greatness chapter meeting right now with you, leading the conversation through operationgreatness.com/chapter. Well, that's another link we could use. Actually, /leader is either way. It all goes to a very good place. operationgreatness.com/leader. And you're actively leading the conversation with all of your friends, and you're getting them involved in being this gift from God in the lives of all of their online friends, as well as everyone in their local area as they are leading their own Operation Greatness chapters by joining your Operation Greatness chapter through operationgreatness.com/leader. So let's talk about this from, all of these are like 3 or 4 or 5 different perspectives, all of which help us really recognize who we are in the world and the gift we are here to be, and to do the work that is I call it our divine design, duty, destiny, dharma to do. This is you sharing your gift, being the light, dispelling the darkness anywhere the darkness still remains. So really see that, feel that, live that, take that to heart, hear that message, and be that person, shining your light, sharing your gifts, not limiting God anymore, anytime, to any degree. Will you acknowledge that? And post about that too, and as you're still leading everyone through doing this in their lives, because this is, such a huge way you are extending the gift you are to everyone connected with you online. Like your online friends, getting them to do this themselves, and then they are that person extending God to all of their online friends. And we're all interconnected online. 3.2 or 4. I don't know how many. I haven't checked in a long time. The last I remember, I think Facebook had 4.2 billion people using it. And Twitter, I don't know how many that is. All of these are probably into the billions now, right? And so you have the ability to reach every human on the planet, just about everyone who's on social media or online. You can reach them and transform their lives by doing this yourself first. Help yourself with the oxygen mask before you help everyone or the people around you. And yet every human is around you now online. You can reach everyone by doing this through your Operation Greatness chapter, and then leading them to lead their own and to transform the lives of every one of their online friends, as you are doing right here now. This is how you are extending God, not limiting God in any way, not denying God full expression and extension through your life, through the gift you are, through operationgreatness.com/leader. So the context of this is even interesting. I joined a program which I can share with you if you're interested. It's at operationgreatness.com/simulation. And it's a community of people who are seeing that the world is only a simulation. And yet it's not about destroying the simulation. I get a song by the band Soundgarden, which is called Blow Up the World. And it's all about blow up the outside world. It's really about going within, like I call it, give in and go within, turning within, and you lose interest in the outside world because there's so much within yourself. And so there's the idea of, if you stop being distracted by the quote out here, or you start to realize that what you see in the world is only a reflection of your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings of how worthy you are of love, of the good things in life. And that's the question back to, are you blocking God? And are you open 100% to receiving God? Because before you can give love or be of greater service or give God as God's gift to the world, of which you absolutely are, you are God's gift to the world, really hear that message and write about that. And I mean, like, wow, I'm watching this Operation Greatness chapter meeting for today through operationgreatness.com/leader. And Dan Klatt, the founder of Operation Greatness, is telling me that I am God's gift to the world. And I'm seeing how I didn't believe that before, and I held back so much. And that's like blocking the flow of a mighty river like Niagara Falls, trying to stifle that flow. That's a lot of work to block, right? Blocking God. That takes a lot of pressure. It causes, that current of God or the Holy Spirit or this mighty river or the flow of life, which is how God works through you, like the flow of a river, and you're there, you're here. Your life is about flowing God's love from God to the world. And if you're that dam, well, there's a lot of pressure on the other side of the dam from that flow, which, life is meant to flow, like money is meant to flow into your life and into how you are blessing the lives of others, right? Because energy is energy, is energy, is energy, and money is energy, and life is the flow of energy or the flow of God. God is the energy, any way you look at it, right? So you're seeing that this is your duty to open fully to the presence of God, to the flow of life, to the currency, including wealth, that is meant to be yours, that is destined to be yours. So any thoughts of unworthiness or undeserving is only a dam against that current, which is the flow of God meant to be in your life as you are, or as God is through you, serving other people, blessing the world. You are God's gift to the world. You absolutely are. So post about that, share your thoughts about that, record videos on that. I just heard this podcast through operationgreatness.com/leader that's saying, I am here to receive God completely because this is the flow of life, and yet I had felt I was undeserving of wealth or love or happiness. Not completely, just a little, and yet that's like damming the flow of the current that is God seeking to bless me as I am then able to bless others. You got to do this yourself. Go to, and then you give your chapter link, because every one of your online friends joining your chapter and leading their own, that's financial freedom money. And you're opening fully to receiving God yourself now. You're no longer limiting the unlimited, putting a dam in that flow of the blessings meant to be yours, absolutely 100% meant to be yours, no doubt about that. There's no question about that. You're meant to be wealthy because that's you fulfilling and honoring and living your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma. You see how important this message is for every one of us to hear and for us all to talk about and post our feelings about and share our insights and relate our insights to our lives as we are in turn leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating every one of our online friends as well as everyone in our local area, doing a little LITL, leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating, doing a little more today in being of greater service instead of blocking the flow of God, that currency of life flowing to us and then through us, through the actions we are taking, through how much of a blessing we are being in the world, how much we are serving others, which is in alignment with our divine design, duty, destiny, dharma. And that is our source of happiness, joy, fulfillment, well-being, peace of mind, success, prosperity, meaning, impact, contribution to others, the difference we are making, how much we are receiving God and then extending God by not obstructing the flow of life, the flow of love, the flow of blessings that God is sharing through our lives to the world. And that is, yes, this is a simulation, and yet it's such a beautiful simulation and experience, and by you now being present right here, now, this moment, you're fully alive. Now, this moment, and it's such a beautiful gift to be here now in this simulation. And you're creating so much good, so much joy, so much empowerment, so much meaning, so much contribution. You are transforming the world. You are transforming the world by leading every one of your online friends to be here now with us in this Operation Greatness chapter meeting through operationgreatness.com/leader. You're here fully in this simulation, and you're recognizing how much of a gift this is. Truly, 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 this moment. And you're experiencing this gift, and you are sharing this gift by leading, walking every one of your online friends and all your platforms through this Operation Greatness chapter meeting, through your link through operationgreatness.com/leader. You are being the inspired visionary leader. It is your destiny, it is your gift, it is your duty to be right here now. This moment. How much more are you loving this simulation? Did you put down that button? So let's just give a little more background on this, because we might receive more blessings from God as a result of that. So I think I first heard this video that was talking about the world being just a simulation, and yet, so if you think of the world as a game, and I'm here to bless as many people's lives as I can in this game, that's a really important, empowered, and inspired way of seeing the blessing of being in this simulation, right? Well, so I was focusing, I had watched the video, and it was very meaningful to me about the world being a simulation, and then I went to my church service on, let's say about, 2 Sundays ago, I think. And then after church, I go eat. And then after eating, I go hiking. And I like to go by the water. And I was walking in this area by the water in Sedona. And I smiled as I saw this rock right here. It's a flat rock about about a centimeter thick probably. And it's a good throwing rock, but it's also I felt intuitively like this was that remote control, the on-off switch for the simulation. And that really inspired me, so I saved this rock, and then shortly after that I found this little, this is a piece of red rock from Sedona. If you can't see it, if you're still listening to the podcast instead of watching the video through our chapter meeting for today at operationgreatness.com/leader, well, I'm holding this is like a slice of Sedona. That's what I think of this as being. Or like a dial on the remote control. And yet, like as I'm holding the rock, like the black rock, which is, I don't know if it's lava, but it's like a river rock. But I put this little thin slice of red rock of Sedona on, that's like brown, like it's like the red rocks of Sedona, the beautiful, so majestic gift from God, just as you are God's gift to the world. Sedona is God's gift to the world as well. Well, this small sliver of red rock is on top of the flat black throwing rock, which is like the on-off switch for the remote control of the simulation. And I look at that as like a cover over this button so this button is not accidentally pushed. So that's the context for this conversation, this chapter meeting, is if you had this on-off button to control the simulation, to turn it off or on, would you push it? And if you pushed it once, would that blow up the world? Would that mean the end of space and time? And then we would all instantly go back to God. And then would the button exist anymore because you would not exist anymore, so you couldn't push the button again? Or could you? I'm inviting you to explore these questions because to me, they're so fascinating to ask these questions and then to just see, would I push it or not? Would I, if there was like an escape, what do they call that? Like escape hatch or no, like when you hit the thing and then like the chair, throws you out of the room, or you fall into this, hole and you're safe in this escape room or whatever. If you had like one of these escape hatches or valves, would you push that to get out of the situation in which your actions created that peril or fear or threat or life? That's kind of going back to the suicide question again. Well, because look at it this way. Let's talk about this because that's such an important insight as well. Your perspective, how you see the world, which is to say the world, because what you experience in the world is not what I experience in the world. Your world is different from the world of everyone else because this is your world, because this is your lesson. This is your gift. Your actions created the world. I want you to really hear that message, and I want you to go deep within. Okay, is that true? My actions created the world. And then you look at, okay, how do you see the world? What is the world you are seeing and experiencing? Because, okay, let's look at a background for this, because this is a really important insight here, and I want you to really hear this message and go deep within your answers to this question. Okay, so years ago I wrote a book called The 5-Second Prosperity Plan. It's based on a simple premise. The 2 steps of the 5-second prosperity 5-second prosperity plan are, number 1, every 5 seconds I focus on something beautiful. That's step 1. Because what you're giving your attention, you are giving your power, and that becomes how you are creating your life. So you focus on something beautiful. And that means what? That's something that gives you joy, inspires you, and moves you closer to your goals, desires, and dreams. Every 5 seconds, focus on something beautiful that inspires and uplifts you. And that's part 1. And number 2 is there is always something beautiful to give your attention. There's always something beautiful to focus on every 5 seconds. That's the 5-second prosperity plan. So the contrast that I used in that story was back when I was the assistant managing editor at the Manitowoc Herald-Times Reporter in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. I lived above a storefront in the downtown area, and I mean, it was beautiful because I walked to work every day, and I can see Lake Michigan over here to the east, and I crossed the Manitowoc River, and it was just so beautiful, and I just loved. So there was beauty very close to me, but also I lived in this downtown area, and across the street was a bank parking lot, and there were flowers in a stand in the bank parking lot, so I can look out my window and I can focus on beauty of the flowers. Or there was kind of like a small rundown house, and I could see like trash or litter in that property there, or blowing around, or I could see what looked like to me as poverty there. And yet also I could see in that house like little children playing with cars or something in the parking lot. So there was beauty there even in that house. And if I concluded, oh, this is a poor family, well, that means I'm focusing on poverty, and yet I could focus on, oh, look at the children playing. They're in their imagination, and they're dreaming, and they're envisioning, and they're creating something beautiful. You see, because you can look anywhere you are, and you can see it's not what is there, it's what you are seeing. It's what you are choosing to give your attention, which is how you are creating your life, and that is the world you are creating. So are you seeing the good in the world, or are you seeing the opposite of that? And why would you ever see anything other than God? Because there is nothing other than God. Going back to omnipresence, what does that mean? Present everywhere. There is nowhere God is not, especially and including within you, right? Right. For you to hear that message and see only God, that means you are experiencing only God. That means you are receiving God fully and extending God completely, and there is nothing else but God, because there never, ever was anything other than that which is, the infinite and unlimited. I call that God. And you are God's gift to the world. You are here to extend God everywhere you are, everywhere you can. And that means transforming the lives of every one of your online friends right here now through this Operation Greatness chapter by walking them through receiving God themselves as part of you extending God into all of their lives. Is there any question about the need for every one of us, you, as well as all of your friends, to do this? And they are doing this through you, through your Operation Greatness chapter link, through operationgreatness.com/leader, where you're walking them through receiving God themselves, leading their own Operation Greatness chapters, and being that inspired visionary leader of all of their online friends, as you are doing right here. So they're joining your chapter through your chapter link, and they're leading their own chapters, and then all of their online friends are joining their Operation Greatness chapter. This is all through operationgreatness.com/leader. That is how you are transforming the world, extending God, blessing, leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating everyone you can. And there's no limit to that, like there is no limit to the unlimited, to God. Doing a little little more today than you did before in extending God, in extending love, in being of greater service to more people. So if you had that button, that on-off switch to turn off the simulation, would you press it? Or is that only your reminder? If you want to carry around a little rock that could be that on-off switch yourself, or to hold that, to keep that rock near your where you spend most of your time, or carry it around with you as your remote control to get out of the simulation to blow up the world, as your reminder, no, I was just not being present right here now. I was just blocking God, the flow of God, the currency of life. I was damning that because I lost my focus, because I forgot my purpose, my power, because I limited God, because I denied the gift I am. I forgot that I have that within me to lead, inspire, transform, and liberate everyone on the planet by leading all of my online friends to be that inspired visionary leader themselves, to stop holding back and playing small and limiting the unlimited because of me leading them to becoming unlimited themselves. I got hung up on something that wasn't so. That was just me making up an old story based on my old conditioning, based on how I had been limiting God. No more. No, I'm breathing back into being, breathing into my center, coming back, disconnecting from that story, which is a simulation itself. I'm going back to my center, and I'm opening fully to God, to receiving God and to extending God into the world, because this is what you're saying yourself, I am God's gift to the world, and my purpose is to be that gift, to give that gift. I'll go back to my favorite quote, and at this point I don't remember who said it anymore. I've mentioned it in about 5 or 6 previous Operation Greatness chapter meetings through operationgreatness.com/leader, is your life is God's gift to you. What you do with your life is your gift to God. Really hear these words. I'll say it again. Your life is God's gift to you. What you do with your life is your gift to God. So being God's gift to the world is your gift to God. Hindering God 0%, meaning opening fully to God to work through your life to bless the world, is your life purpose. That's your work. That's the gift you are here to be. That's you giving God's gift to the world. How is that transforming you completely? You're no longer playing small, right? Ever again. You're no longer living in the past or in the future. You're very present right now, here, this moment, right? Every moment you're appreciating the eternal, infinite gift it is, because you're receiving that gift yourself, because you're extending that gift, the gift you are, fully now, this present moment, and every moment. You're not squandering your power. You're not limiting the unlimited. You are being unlimited, right? I would love for you to go back now and copy and paste, and I got to drink a little sip of something here. I'm out of this. Okay, I got to get some more tea here in my mouth here. I would love for you to take all the posts that you have shared as you did, as you were leading and have led all of your online friends through joining you in leading this conversation in this Operation Greatness chapter meeting, as you've transformed everyone connected with you, online at least, if not also in your area, into joining your Operation Greatness chapter through this Operation Greatness chapter meeting through operationgreatness.com/leader. Take all the posts that you made, put them into the email that you're sending me, the essay that you're sending me from this chapter meeting, and talk about what this message has done for you, how this completely transformed everything for you, how you are no longer playing small or holding back or limiting yourself in any way ever again. And acknowledge that and affirm that, and share all the posts that you made in our Operation Greatness Private Wealth Alliance for chapter leaders, which is at operationgreatness.com/leader. And send that to me personally, that email with all your posts and your thoughts at dan@danclatt.com. And then make sure you're sharing all of that in our Private Wealth Alliance for chapter leaders as well. And also, this is where, take all the posts that everyone else is sharing, and you're able to share those as well with all of your online friends as you are further being of greater service to them. So, is there anything else that we could talk about and consider in this question about would you push that button to turn off the simulation if you have that remote and power to do that? Are you concluding the same thing that I am, that if you would push it, that would only be because you quit, you failed, you're giving up, you're conceding, you're surrendering, walking away from the gift, which means you never received it fully yourself, and that's your work, is to receive the gift fully yourself here in the simulation, because you don't want to go through it again, because there's so much here yet for you to receive yourself, and for you to be that person contributing so meaningfully to others, is how you are receiving the gifts of this life, of the simulation, the gifts from God. You're receiving them yourself because those gifts come as a result of you contributing everything you have within you to share. And that was the other part of the Chief Tecumseh poem, is so live your life so that when your time comes, you have sung your song completely, you have lived your life completely, you have given everything you had within you to give, and now you're enjoying that your vessel is empty, your cup is empty because you gave everything away, you lived completely, you were God's instrument for miracles, you were God's gift to the world, and you gave your gift completely, and your life is done. So now you charge gallantly into the sunset. The next step, you have completely lived your life. So live your life that way. I want you to affirm and acknowledge that as well, and share your thoughts as you are further reaching every one of your online friends, bringing them into this conversation as part of the contribution your life is as God's gift to the world. So make sure you're sharing your thoughts about that point. So live your life. And this is how you are doing that, by contributing so meaningfully to every one of your online friends as they are joining your chapter and leading their own through operationgreatness.com/leader. So live your life. so that when your time comes, you charge gallantly into the next step, having given everything that your gift is within you, and that's the contribution you are. I'm so inspired that you have taken this to heart and allowed this to serve you completely. And now look at the person you are today, and I want you to share the person you are today. Who is that person now? You're giving freely. You're not limiting yourself. You're not coming from scarcity, fear, lack consciousness. You're not judging anything anymore because you're recognizing, oh, this is just them thinking small and blocking God. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. OperationGreatness.com/leader. I love you. I bless you. I believe in you. I know you're meant to do great things. Go out there and do me proud. Do God proud. You are God's instrument for miracles. Give the gift you are. Thank you.